The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different twists and turns, as well as surprises in this film by director J.J. Abrams that'll be used in a way to change our perception on both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Now, this is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, what's really interesting about Episode 9 is that, yes, we do know that Palpatine is going to be the central piece to the story. He is going to be the main focus of Episode 9, which is a good thing and a step in the right direction in my point of view. Yes, we saw him die at the very end of Return of the Jedi, and yes, we do know that in Episode 9 he will be back to life in some way, shape, or form, as we have been hearing in the form of a spirit. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting, involving Palpatine and Rey's parents. Now, specifically, a description of Rey traveling into a large vault on an unknown world that is described to be one of Palpatine's vaults that were stored in the Outer Rim in an unknown star system that Rey ends up going to. It's described that Rey is with R2-D2 and that the planet has waterfalls and rivers in the background as she enters the Dark Vault. It's described that all of this eventually leads to a scene in which Rey activates what is described to be a miniature Palpatine hologram that she activates on top of a console. The Palpatine hologram is said to appear how Palpatine did in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where he begins to talk about Vidar and Melinza, who are the names of Rey's parents. The message of Palpatine is said to reveal that Palpatine had ordered the Empire to find and destroy Vidar and Melinza, as they hold valuable information to a secret star system in the unknown regions that could become a brand new generation of Jedi, and that Rey's parents' departure have something to do with Palpatine's order to kill them. Additionally, it's described that Palpatine's reveal that he was actually working with a secret project on Jakku that was exposed to Melinza and Vidar, and that this big secret has something to do with the character of Rey. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, this vault that we are actually learning about right now, this could very well be based on the world of Pilio. That was a planet that was unveiled in Battlefront 2's campaign. Now, I'm not quite sure if Pilio is in the unknown regions or the mid-rim. I'm not quite sure. But there's a great possibility that it could very well be on a planet very much like the planet of Pilio. After all, there are numerous vaults that once belonged to Emperor Palpatine that were stored across the entire galaxy, and one of which is going to be discovered by Rey, which leads her to this hologram of Palpatine, okay? So this is where she learns a little bit more about her parents, both named Vidar, V-I-D-A-R, and Melinza, spelt M-A-L-I-N-Z-A. Now, Vidar and Melinza are actually said to be connected to this big secret that they were exposed to, that they found out that Palpatine was working on. One of which was, of course, something to do with the Jakku Observatory and the Jakku base that was actually containing a lot of these different secrets that are going to be connected to the character of Rey. Now, the other thing, of course, is that Rey's parents, Vidar and Melinza, actually have a map, or a hyperspace route, if you will, to an unknown star system in the unknown regions that hold a different species or race of people that have the potential to become a brand new, a whole entire new generation of Jedi. Now, we've been hearing about this a couple of times during this month of June, that there is going to be some kind of star system in the unknown regions that will be used in order to create a brand new generation of Jedi, and that Palpatine was after this, as well as Supreme Leader Snoke and even Kylo Ren. Now, what's really intriguing to me about this is Palpatine knows Rey's parents, which also makes sense and lines directly up with what we went over not too long ago, where Rey's father basically was serving Emperor Palpatine for some time, prior to when he rebelled against him, where he took a lot of the artifacts and the ancient relics from the Jakku Observatory that once belonged to Palpatine and stored it in his own home on an unknown world that Rey eventually does in fact go to in this movie. After all, we do know that J.J. Abrams said that there's a lot more to tell about Rey's parents and their story in Episode 9, and that it's all going to come together perfectly. So I think that the fact that this big secret that Palpatine was working on Jakku, the fact that that big secret has something to do with Rey, really does bring up a lot of questions here as to exactly who is Rey and really where does she come from. Are her parents her blood parents, or are they actually just foster parents, people that are adopted her, or something around those lines, right? could they very well be something around those lines? Now, with that being said, this secret star system, it seems like that this is going to be loosely based off of the world of Ossus. Alright, now in the EU, it's also a canon planet, but in the EU, Palpatine had great interest in this planet in the Dark Empire comic line. And I gotta say, I'm really loving the callbacks to Dark Empire that are going to be inserted into this movie in order to really move the story along and make it original and new. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.